Hi everybody, welcome to our very first pump packing competition. I'm Lori DeToro, Content Marketing Manager for SEPCO, and we are excited that you have joined us. We are, for the first time, beginning our Maintenance Olympics events, and the first one is pump packing. We'll have two heats. The first one will be Steve Hall and Chuck Tanner competing against each other, and they will compete. The winner of this heat will compete against the winner of the second heat that will happen immediately after this. And we're going to have Chris Wilder, our CEO, timing the packing, and we will have Mike Evers doing color commentary as to what Steve and Chuck are doing as they move through it. And in heat 2, we'll have Chuck commentating. So I think we're ready to go. Included in the time will be our competitors putting on their PPE before they get started packing a simulated pump. This will be quicker than normal because it's not a real pump, but we're gonna see how quick they can do it. And we're gonna start timing in 3.
Welcome to the SEPCO Thunderdome.
Yes, we would normally be doing this in a packed stadium with screaming fans, but because of social distancing, we're doing it in the SEPCO Thunderdome. And we're going to begin as soon as our timer says it's time to start. Y'all can begin by putting on your PPE equipment.
Contestants, on your marks, go!
They're off. Both of them are off to a very quick start. Notice the safety glasses first with Chuck, followed by the escape respirator, which is always important. High-vis vests are getting put on. Notice Steve went with the hard hat first. I think that was a good move. He seems to be maybe a step ahead of Chuck. Maybe not. Oh, Chuck's off. PPE is definitely an important part of the process, and probably the most part. Chuck is off to a quick start, already inserting the first ring into the stuffing box.
Is he doing it correctly, though?
He is doing it correctly. Then this is where the special sauce comes in. Right now, Chuck is using the larger of the two pushers that we use, the packing pushers that can be found on our website at www.sepco.com. Pushers are a big part. Well, what you're going to see here is you watch that bottom ring get pushed to the bottom of the stuffing box and seated all the way down. Watch this magic happen closely if you can. Finger tight. He's got his wrench all set. Taking up some of the slack into it. Steve is not far behind.
They both seem to be bolting right now.
Definitely putting even pressure on those bolts, on the nuts, on the gland studs. Got that seated all the way to the bottom of the box. That's going to allow for the rest of the rings to fit into the stuffing box. Chuck is off with those last two rings. Now you're going to notice he's using a packing puller, the same packing hook that people use to remove packing. He's going to use that same hook to remove the packing pushers.
So it works on the packing and the pushers?
Yes, it does, and those are also available. And call our inside service group at 1-800-633-4770.
Now, are they using the lantern ring right now?
The lantern ring here. So what's happening is that packing, the packing pusher is going to also use a seated tool and the lantern ring to seat that second ring. Watch as that second ring completely compresses and fully seats all the way into the bottom of the stuffing box. Watch that gap close right here.
I'm going to get a little closer to the action real quick.
Malfunction on the nut.
Not much space between the packing, two pieces of packing.
Looks like Chuck has got that fully seated. Steve is not far behind. Steve is seating his right here. Again, using that packing hook to remove. Now, ring number 3.
Now, when you're packing a real pump stuffing box, you're working in much tighter spaces and usually not vertical like this, correct?
That is very correct. There are no outside obstacles getting in his way. It's a great environment, well lit.
Air conditioned.
Yes, climate controlled. One thing that was not included in this competition was the measuring that happens before you pack a pump.
Right.
This is in a standard 2L3 packing configuration. We're going to make sure that that lantern ring lines up with the flush port, a crucial part of a successful packing job. So you also notice that Chuck has switched his packing pushers to the shorter of the two. That is the height of 2 packing rings, so he is able to fully seat that 3rd ring. He has seated it, removing the nuts off the hand studs.
And then he's
Packing
using the
puller.
hook. Is it a packing puller? Sorry.
Ring number 4, he's in the home stretch.
I was going to say, this is a good environment to practice so that when you get into the real positions.
It is. And the most important thing is it's really not a race as to who can finish it first, but ultimately we're just trying to make sure that it's done correctly.
Right, and one of the things I wanted to ask, so every ring, they are clamping down the bolts. You couldn't just mash it really hard and make it go in the right place?
You cannot, Laura. You got to make sure that every single one of those rings is fully seated to the bottom of the box and compressed all the way down. You got to make that packing set work as a total unit. You will put all the pressure on the top rings if you only just put those rings in there and tighten that gland down.
I know everyone here is not necessarily an Alabama fan, but Nick Saban has the process that you have to do everything the right way every time, every situation. And so it would be the same with this, with packing a pump.
Yeah, there is usually 1 second that comes into play where
I'm
Nick Saban
sure
isn't
there
always
is.
correct, but I will say the process is important.
And thanks all our Auburn fans.
So this is where it's very important. Right now you're going to see that Chuck is on his last ring, and what you can't have is packing sticking out of the box when you finish this process. Grunting going on.
There is. They're working hard on doing this. Well, I'm telling you, I've been missing sports, so I am super happy to see
Finger
this
tight,
competition.
2 flats.
Finger tight, 2 flats. Time.
Time, 6:03.
6 minutes and 3 seconds for Chuck Tanner. He is the winner of heat number 1. And Steve Hall, fantastic job, not too far behind, man. Congratulations, guys. If we were not social distancing, I would say shake hands, but we're just gonna lift our fists and say congratulations. Awesome. All right. We're going to quickly get Mike Evers and Bobby McNeil set up and ready to go and be timed. And Chuck, you're going to join me to do the commentary on what they're doing, correct? Correct. That is not included in the timing, guys. Y'all could help out. We're going to unpack these and we'll get back to it. Chuck, why don't you come here and tell me some of the benefits of packing a pump correctly? What does it prevent from happening?
The main thing we're trying to do with this process is to get all the rings to load and work. A lot of people don't understand packing is not square. It's manufactured as rectangular. And if you do not get it squared and get it loaded in the stuffing box correctly and square it up, you will not get load transfers to the bottom rings, which will cause you to use more flush water. And you can, the packing is prone to want to burn and glaze because you're putting too much load on the outer rings.
And so the outer rings would glaze.
Yeah, the outer rings would glaze, and that's where all usually that's where the failures come in. So if you find packing that you've taken it out of the stuffing box and you find the first 2 rings behind the gland are burnt, more than likely your bottom rings were never seated and they never did any work. So that's the main benefit of this process. So you control your water, your flush water, and your dilution rate's much better with this process.
All right, well, we are almost ready to go. Thank you, Chuck. So I'm going to take this time to introduce our next competitors. We have our plant manager, Mike Evers, who is competing right there, and he was our narrator earlier. And we've got another of our plant managers, Bobby McNeil. Bobby, remind me which section of our plant you're managing?
Brady.
Braiding, that's what I thought. So you are very, very familiar with packing and packing pumps, I know. So
Dreams about it in his sleep.
so I'm going to find out if you guys are about ready.
1 second here, make sure I got all my pieces in place.
All right.
Make sure I have all of my PPE in place.
All right.
1 second.
All right.
Missing a vest. I gotta have a high vis vest.
Oh, he's trying to sneak one in, huh?
Got to have all our equipment. All right, so we are about ready to begin heat number 2. And remember, whoever wins this heat will compete against our very own Chuck Tanner in the championship round. So, Bobby and Mike, you guys ready?
Ready.
Let us know when it's time, timekeeper, Mr. Wilder.
On your marks. Go!
Yeah, it's very important to put your PPE on. Make sure that you're safe on the job. Make sure you have everything that you need. Safety is the most important part of this planning for these jobs. Do your job prep, your pre-job safety analysis. Make sure you have everything. There goes Mike. Mike's getting off. Mike's got that PPE on. Mike's getting off to the first big head start there, and Bobby's hanging in close behind.
It's going to be a close one. Be interested to see what their time is, because
It's really
Steve.
important. It's really important to get this first ring in and get it loaded and get it compressed, because that's where you can control your dilution.
I know Steve's time was really close to yours, Chuck, so we'll be interested to see what Mike and Bobby's time is.
Well, if they don't match up to Steve, maybe me and Steve go to another round.
Now, I don't know about that. That wasn't the way it was planned. We had 2 heats. So which of the seat tools are they using right now?
You have 2 pieces, and each piece is sized by cross section, and there's each piece, the width of it. One piece is 2 rings wide, and one piece is 3 rings wide. So as you're planning out your job and you're doing your job, you keep up with how many rings you got left in the stuffing box.
And so on that last ring, you don't need a tool. You just use the gland,
You use
correct?
the gland because the follower has enough nose length on it that you don't need it.
Correct.
So Mike is on his second ring. These particular stuffing boxes pack 2L3. So he's on his second ring, and you'll notice what he's going to do is time to use the lantern ring as a spacer.
Okay.
And both of these contestants will use the lantern ring as a spacer. You leave it in the stuffing box. There's no use in not utilizing that piece. It's just as good as the pushers.
Where can you get a lantern ring?
Or you get lantern rings. SEPCO makes lantern rings. We have both machined and flexible lantern ring material here in stock.
Having some tool dropping.
Also, any bushing material you need for any stuffing box maintenance, we have that available on hand too. Produced at our P3 Plastics location. There's Mike. Bobby's getting a little head start on him.
Mm-hmm. So what type packing are we using at this point?
What we're using today in this competition, we're using W.O. Gore GFO.
All right.
Made by W.O. Gore, the Gore-Tex folks.
And we have that regularly, and we sell that a lot,
yes,
correct?
We're one of the certified players for GFO in the world.
What's SEPCO style number, Chuck?
That's SEPCO style ML4002.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
That has become one of our standards for industry standards for industries like such as pulp and paper. They are. See now Mike used his 3-ring spacer. The 2 guys using the 3-ring spacer, they know they got 3 rings left to put in. There's Mike. He struggled a little bit there because Mike tried to put the ring in, not put the end rings in first. So he struggled a little bit with that piece right there.
Okay, and a question about putting the rings in. So the cuts in the rings, when you're matching them up, should you keep those together all in one line or stagger them?
You stagger the gaps at 180 degrees, but you also, when you install the ring, try to style the ring and put both ends together when you put it in. And that keeps you from stretching the ring and the ring ending up being too long. In a small, we got a fumble now.
Throwing equipment.
Throw the flag.
Two on the floor.
That's an extra penalty there.
You
1
know,
second
we
penalty
should have had a flag.
For tool retention. Tool retention is very critical. He could have dropped that on somebody's head.
No smack talking allowed in the Thunderdome.
You'll be asked to leave.
We're on the last, no, we're next to last ring, right?
Yep, here the guys go. There goes Mike. Mike.
Getting stuck.
Mike's struggling there a little bit. Uh-oh, we have a problem here.
It's going to give Bobby a chance to get ahead.
I can tell they ain't been on the job in a while. They get a little soft on me.
Well, when you can't go into facilities because of social distancing, you might lose some of your mojo. Looks like they're neck and neck. Am I right?
Chuck dumped
Yeah,
up
pretty
this,
much. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no blaming previous competitors either.
I probably will get my last ring in.
The other benefit of these is the pump doesn't move for you and adjust.
No,
you
no.
you gotta work with the pump,
Now,
right?
usually you're laying on the floor on your knees. Knees hurt. It's wet. It's dirty.
There'll be a lot of times when you're doing this, you're doing it overhead, you've got black stuff running down your arms into your pants.
You were telling me about that, Steve.
A lot of fun.
That does not sound fun.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very
Well,
clean,
it
well
looks
lit
like-
environment.
Looks
What?
like Bobby's gonna get this heat. Bobby's down to the final ring.
Oh, my goodness.
The final installation. Mike's still trying to retrieve parts. He's throwing all in the room. There you go.
Something to say about slow and steady winning the race. Up, Mike win it. What's our time, Chris?
550.
5:50. Woo! So now the next heat will be Chuck Tanner, who did it in 6 minutes and how many seconds?
603.
6:03, with Bobby doing it in 5:50. Woo! It's going to be a close competition in the next heat. Stay tuned while we adjust and get our next competitors up.
The important thing is nobody was hurt. I get to go home, my family.
That is
safe.
true.
Got all your fingers? I got all my fingers.
No animals were harmed in this process.
Congratulations to Chuck and Bobby. You're in our final heat, the championship heat.
Steve, you want to pull that out for him?
Yeah, and you need to take off your PPE and get ready to re-put it on while Steve gets the stuffing box emptied.
Chuck wins on the side between heats.
Lori, one thing to add in the process of repacking a pump is it's very important that you follow the lockout tagout procedures of every facility, making sure that all the equipment's been valved off and locked off, and then also checking that start-stop button to make sure that any equipment can't be started up while you're working
That's
on that.
an excellent point to make because safety is as first, as we've been saying this whole time.
This is all in good fun, but safety is definitely the priority in any maintenance job that's worked on.
Absolutely. We are close to the final heat.
Boy, one of the things these clear stuffing boxes are great tools for end users and people in operations. It's a great way of actually seeing the inside of a stuffing box. As you can see on this pump that's sitting on this pedestal right up here, it is not easy to see what's going on in the bottom of that stuffing box.
Yes.
So many times packing rings are not seated all the way to the bottom. It's a tight fit. It's hard to see. And so this is a great illustration of ultimately what we're trying to do when we pack rotating equipment. These are also available.
What's your
They're also available. We can order them from our sales team and all right. Are we about ready?
Are you ready to rumble?
All right. We're going to don't touch the equipment. All right. We've got everything ready for our championship heat in the pump packing competition, part of our maintenance Olympics. And Chris, you ready to start the timer?
Finalist McNeil, are you ready?
We're good.
Finalist Tanner, ready. On your marks, go!
All right, again, PPE, huge part of the process. You notice that on the back of Bobby's hard hat, he has an H2S monitor, which is often a requirement in the pulp and paper industry.
For people who don't know what H2S is, can you tell us what that is?
Hydrogen
sulfide?
Yes.
Bobby's quick. He's already got that ring to the bottom. I think Chuck is feeling a little bit of the pressure. There's a little bit of an age gap in between Bobby and Chuck. I'm not going to exactly say
Who is older?
who's who, but I'll just
20
let you
years
figure
of
that out. One product that's not being featured in this process is SEPCO's Pack Lube.
That's what cost me the game while I was.
Pack Lube is a great tool that
Cunning and wisdom.
helps that packing slide in the stuffing box.
Right.
He'll drop one.
Ooh, that was a...
Because of
just
course,
There.
Yeah, insides of...
of a pump is going to be jagged, it's
that's
going to be
right.
rougher,
You
it's not going to be
may
this
have- you may
smooth.
have some grooves that are worn into that sleeve. Oh, man, that was a crucial fumble on Bobby's part.
Oh, seconds matter in this, seconds matter.
Absolutely. Every mistake is magnified, especially in the final round. These guys are professionals. They didn't get to the final round. Oh, look
Oh,
at that
another
cool
fumble.
mistake. Oh, what's happening here? Oh,
Oh, that was a lucky break for
Still.
Chuck. Let's get a closer look at where they are in the process. We've got a lantern ring in there. We're tightening these bolts. Bobby's working on his next ring and putting the lantern ring in, so he is a few seconds behind Chuck.
yes.
Very close, just like every heat, it is very close.
This is not the time in the competition to relax. This is not. Oh my goodness! Did you see that?
It's another
Oh,
fumbled
no,
bolt.
fumble. Where did it go? Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
they're rushing.
This is
They're
gonna
not
get
being
interesting.
patient.
Can we get a replay of that?
I don't know if you noticed.
In about
when
10
Chuck
minutes,
was-
yes.
Oh, there it is. When Chuck was undoing the last of the nuts, it actually fell inside
The stuffing
of
box?
the stuffing box.
Wow, what a mistake. That could be the competition right
Look at
there.
this. Look at this. Almost forgot the pusher. Every
Oh, and it bounced
opportunity.
out. Mike,
Oh,
the
this-
pusher bounced out of the stuffing box.
I mean, Chuck just seems to be all thumbs all of a sudden. I have not seen
I've never seen him this
screw up like
rattled.
this since the last second of the Auburn-Alabama game.
Oh my goodness.
Harsh crowd.
As long as no one says the words kick six, I'll be okay.
Look at him go. Clearly a professional. This is not his first rodeo.
No, it is not. How many pumps do each of you think you may have packed in your careers? Thousands of pumps.
My first time.
It is not your first time. Okay, so Chuck, it's next to last ring going in.
Final ring.
No,
No, he still has one more.
one more left to go. Bobby is right behind him. Bobby, how you feeling?
Not the game yet.
Never give up on Bobby.
Oh, another fumble of a
Started to use the.
missed pusher. That might give Chuck an edge. You know, in traditional sports, the players on the field can't hear the commentators critiquing their mistakes and talking about it may cost them the game, but they're hearing all of this right now,
It
so
adds a level of pressure.
I think so.
Except in curling.
I think Chuck feeds off of it though.
Bobby.
Sorry?
Chuck's wisecracking now.
Last ring, Chuck better keep his
like
eye on the
Chuck
prize
showboating
and
a
not
little bit now. You notice
wisecrack.
that he's doing
Well,
both.
you know, the showboaters who drop the ball right before
right.
they're in the
Tackle
end
on
zone,
1
you
yard
got
line.
it. Yep, you've got to keep putting the pressure on. It's not over till you do the four flats, right? Or two flats.
Yeah, that's right. Finger tight. plus
Finger
two
tight,
flats.
two flats.
There's also some startup procedures you're going to go through. Make a little bit of adjustments.
And
Wow.
Chuck has finished first.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, what is our time?
5:02.
5:02, the fastest time of the whole day.
Wow.
Chuck Tanner, congratulations, you are the pump packing champion.
Thunderdome champions.
Fists up. Yes, good job, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching and joining us. This will be available on our Facebook page in just a few minutes, and we appreciate y'all staying and going through this fun competition with us. Have a good day.